Happy Friday, TGIF, and thank you in particular to our deployed military members who can't be home with their families like most of us can be. So I thank you, and all of these Friday Fraud Law reviews are dedicated to you all. So thank you so much for all you do for us. I and many like me appreciate it more than you know. So thank you. Be safe. Okay, so today's uh, fraud law review choice is in Missouri, St. Louis. In fact, it's St. Louis County, and the title of the OIG press release reporting on this is St. Louis County Fossil Company operator accused of disability fraud. So let's see what happened here. Apparently was the owner of a fossil replica company. He has been indicted Wednesday and accused of fraudulently seeking disability benefits. I'm not going to say his name, guys, because he's been indicted. He has not been convicted. And I believe he is entitled to, has a right to a constitutional right to be considered innocent until proven guilty. So this is a gentleman. He's 50 years old. I mean, obviously, this is going to be public information in the newspapers anyway, guys, but it's just not going to be out of my mouth that his name is shared. He is, by the way, on probation anyway for a prior disability fraud case. That's pathetic. The new indictment on one count of making a false statement, it accuses him of applying for Social Security disability benefits in January, end of January 2026. So he just did this allegedly. And wow, that's interesting. I wonder if there's going to be some details in here. Sometimes they're pretty scant on the details, which is troublesome. Um, he was claiming that he had not worked since 1993. Hmm. The indictment says he has been self-employed since 2014. So it says that his disability benefits were initially discontinued after an investigation by the Social Security Administration's Office of Inspector General. The fellow, pleaded guilty in U.S. District Court in St. Louis back in September already to one felony count of theft of government money. Okay, so apparently he did this before. Oh, I wonder if he got probation, a little slap on the wristy, as some of these courts like to do, which of course teaches someone that it's pretty lucrative to do this again. And perhaps that's what he did a few months later in January. Hey, I got away with it last time with a little slap on the wrist. Here we go. Anyway, back then he pled guilty to that theft of government money. He admitted opening the company. I'm not going to say the company's name. Well, maybe I will since he pled guilty and admitted to it. This is the part that is not innocent until proven guilty. Back then, he admitted opening a company named Taylor Made Fossils, which made fossil creations after having been granted disability benefits. Okay. His plea agreement says that while he repeatedly falsely claimed to be too disabled to work or perform many normal daily activities, he carried large or heavy objects, did yard work, and walked normally while unassisted. In December of 2025, he was sentenced to 5 years of probation in order to repay over $100,000 to the SSA. Okay, so that's the old case. And now, of course, he's been charged with fraudulently seeking disability benefits. So he did something in 20. It's interesting. I'm dying to know more details, but they don't give a squat here. So he's pleads guilty back in the fall, and now it's alleged that in January he did something else again, making a false statement. Sounds like he applied for Social Security disability benefits. The probation, it does not sting enough, particularly when the person's probably never going to pay the restitution. In this case, it's 100,000. If he's pretty lucrative in his business, maybe he can, but I don't know. I just find it incredibly nervy of him to get that slap on the wrist probation and then go do it again. Like, how does he think they're not going to be inquiring about this or that there's not a red flag on his SSA account? I can you be that stupid? I don't know. Um, I think his brain has fossilized. What do you think? That's nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. Try to see if there's anything good in here. Okay. It says here that the Department of Justice efforts support President Trump's task force to eliminate fraud, a whole of government effort chaired by Vice President J.D. Vance to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse within the federal benefits program. So perhaps they've stepped up catching the people that do this because they are a big part of why the Social Security funds are so drained and tenuous all the time. There are other reasons when we have a poor labor market, when people are encouraged not to work, that kind of takes a little ding too, presumably, and the revenue coming in cannot be as strong as it would or should be. But letting a little hole where the money can flow out fraudulently and not being a good gatekeeper to prevent the money from flowing out of those holes without not plugging up those holes, those leaks are where money gets fraudulently siphoned out. So that guy was one of them and he was trying it again. That's that takes cojones. So I hope they report back one day about what his sentence will be if he's found guilty of doing this in January. And is it going to be probation again? He's not that old. He could easily do time. My personal feeling is I think he should have done time on the earlier one. And I think even if it was just like a year, um, and on this one, I would be, my head would be spinning even more if they didn't give him jail time this time, because clearly probation, it's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Maybe.